This is the inside of the Elddis Majestic 115. If I firstly move to the main control panel, I can turn the 12 volt on just on the master switch just here. Above it we would have battery selection, but on this particular model we cannot select the vehicle battery, so if I flick it all the way down now, all the power will drop out. So literally just leave this switch set to the auxiliary and then turn the 12 volt on and off just on the master switch. Up the top here we have a voltage reading of the leisure battery. If we want to view how much water is in the fresh tank, just press the water button just here and then go by the blue gauge underneath the volts. Next we have the main isolator for all of the onboard lights. These can then all be individually turned on and off on their own switches. Awning light on and off just here. And then we have the water pump on and off just here. We need the water pump on to be able to get water out of the taps, flush the toilet and fill the boiler if it is being drained down. Whenever the pump is running, so if I now just open a tap up, you'll see a green light will illuminate. And when the waste tank needs emptying, a red light will just appear here. Just here we have the controls for the heating and hot water. So if we start at the top just here, we have the controls for the heating. So at the bottom here we literally just have the temperature control. So hottest being here and then coolest right the way over here at the snowflake. So at the moment the heating is off with the arrow pointing to the O. If we want to run the heating on main supply, we literally just flick it up and you'll see we have one wavy line. So this represents about 500 watts. We then have two wavy lines, about 1 kilowatt, and then three wavy lines, about 2 kilowatts. So these settings here are just dependent on the amperage of the site you're on to try and avoid tripping. If I now go back to off, if it's just a warm day and you just want to circulate the air around the motorhome, you can pop it onto the little picture of the fan just here. And if you're not connected to mains electricity and you want to run your heating, you can flick it down to the little picture of the flame just here and it will then run on gas. Once the heating is running on gas, a green light will appear just here to let you know. If it fails to light, a red light will begin to flash just here. A red light will also flash if you're trying to run it on main supply and you're not connected or you've tripped, etc. The red light flashes differently depending on the problem, so it flashes a bit like Morse code. So in the manual it will tell you what the problem is. If it's something that's relatively easy, once you think you've rectified the problem, you will need to reset this control panel. And to put the red light out from flashing, you basically need to turn it on and off, but not literally just like this. You do need to be quite violent with it. So literally do it like this until the red light goes out and then stop back at the off, and then you can attempt to use it again. This switch here is just literally the light switch for the toilet. And then down here we have the controls for the hot water. So we have this one here with 230 volts written next to it. So this one is hot water on main supply. It's a rocker switch, so in the middle it's off. If I now flick it up, it will heat hot water to about 50 degrees. And if I flick it down, it will heat hot water to about 70 degrees. Again, if you don't have main supply, you can heat your hot water on gas, and it's just done down here. Before using this, make sure that the flue cover has been removed on the outside. And again now, if I flick it up, it will heat hot water to about 50 degrees. and if I flick it down it will heat hot water to 70. If it fails to light on gas, a red light will just appear just here. The boiler itself is just located underneath the wardrobe, and we have the water pump and the surge dampener just here, and then we have the boiler drain valve just here. So to drain the boiler down for winterization, firstly make sure the water pump is turned off, and then just flap this yellow lever up and it will then drop all the water out of the boiler. If you're fully winterizing, I always suggest that you also go around and open up all the taps as well. This will help release any airlocks in the system and make it drain down more efficiently. When it comes to refilling the boiler, flap the drain valve back over as it is at the moment, close all the taps, fill up the fresh water tank, turn on the 12 volt followed by the water pump, and then the water pump will begin to refill the boiler. Let the pump run for a few minutes and then begin opening all the taps. They'll cough and splutter as they force the air out. Once they're running freely on both hot and cold, reclose, and then the system will fully reprime itself. Also in here you'll see that we have the gas isolation tap just there for the boiler. Quite frankly, it's in the on position and that's the way it can stay. I always say these are more for maintenance than anything else. If you do smell gas in the motorhome, go to the source and turn off the gas bottle. If I now just come to the bench seat just here and remove the cushions, and if I now just lift up, you will see we have the consumer unit just here. So we have the individual MCBs and they're all labelled up, and then we have the main RCD and the test button just there. So if anything's not working on main supply, just check to see if you've tripped at this point here. And then beneath that are the 12 volt fuses. Again, they are all labelled up. So if anything is not working on 12 volt, just check to see if you've blown a fuse just here. The main 25 amp fuse, literally off the leisure battery, just sits here. We then have the space heater located just here. Underneath the opposite bench seat is literally storage. Then have the microwave just here. Always advisable to remove all contents for travel. The isolator switch for it is just in the locker just here. Fairly standard microwave. We have power settings at the top here, obviously defrost, etc. And then if we drop all the way down, time set, etc., and then start and stop just here. Beneath that we have TV points, and then we have a 12 volt socket and two main sockets. Located in the wardrobe is the freestanding table, and then also the television aerial. So to raise the TV aerial up, just loosen the collar and then push it up and get it into the position that you require. The red dot represents the point of the aerial, so you know which way it's facing. Once you've got it into the position you require, retighten the collar. Here we have the digital amplifier for the TV aerial, on and off just here, and then control the boost on this center dial here. At the moment the aerial is sitting in the horizontal position. If you want to flip it to vertical for additional tuning, just turn the tail just here, and then always make sure that the aerial is down for travel. Hob just here, we have the electric hot plate, which, like the microwave, will work when the motorhome's connected to mains electricity. On and off just here, and the red light will come on to let you know it's in operation. We then have the 3 gas rings, and that is just a matter of pushing in, twisting round, and then coming down to the igniter just here. Beneath that we then have the grill, and again just push in, twist, and then press the igniter. And then the oven. Beneath the oven you will find gas isolation taps for the cooker, a hob and the fridge, and then a switch right at the very back there which is for the electric hot plate. We then have the fridge. So we're off at the moment. If we want to run the fridge on mains electricity, just flick the dial to the little picture of the 2-pin plug. After that we have 12 volt maintain. This will operate when the engine of the motorhome is running to keep the fridge cold whilst on the move. And then lastly, if we want to run the fridge on gas, switch it down to the little picture of the flame. Then we need to come across to the temperature control, hold it in and push the igniter, and then what we want is this little line here to drift out of the white into the green to indicate that it is lit. As soon as I turn it to anything else, it will automatically put itself straight back out again. We then have the freezer box just at the top, just here, and this can be removed. There are just clips on both sides. Washroom, so we have the shower just here. Do make sure that the shower screen is secured for travel. We then have the pull-out basin. And then the Thetford toilet. To open to the cassette, just literally slide the grey lever across and then push to flush just here, and then close back up again. If this has been left open and you try to remove the cassette from the outside, it will not come out, so if you do feel resistance, just make sure that nobody's left it open. Level indicator just here, so this will illuminate to let you know when the cassette needs emptying. In this particular model you can have 2 single beds or 1 double. If you are going to have singles, the seats need to be rotated round like the driver's one is already. To do this, just come to the lever just here and it will then release the seat and allow it to rotate round. To move the seat backwards and forwards, it's all just done on the lever just here. And then the seats are height adjustable on these two levers just here. Once the seats have been rotated round and you've got them at a height that you think is going to be comfortable, all you then need to do is just slightly pull this out and then pull this across, drop the backrest cushion against the wall, and then as you can see you then have a good sized single bed. If I now just do the same again with the other one, and as you can see still have a good passageway down the centre. If you are going to have a double bed, all you need to do is just continue moving both sections out until they meet in the middle, and then just rearrange the cushions, and now you can see you have a very good sized double bed.